Their knees hurt. They got older, so that's why Jordan was able to take advantage of that.
That's part of it,
right?
That's a large part of it, but I understand your point. That's all I'm saying. That I understand your point. He's seen that he could not accomplish the goal in which he wanted to do, which is win the championship. So he had to go back into the lab, so to speak, work on his strengthening, work on his conditioning, and so he reinvented himself, right? But I'm just saying that the reason why he won is because they got older.
So I'm going to take a slightly different approach to this. I disagree with this statement in general. And the reason I say this is because reinvention is not something that just happens. So to what the gentleman spoke on before, I do agree that there's change that's going to take place. So certainly if you are 20, 30, 40, 50, you've gone through those decades, you change whether you liked it or not. I'll give you an example. At my age, I'm not gonna say my age because JI, you know why I don't feel like getting roasted today. So
no, I think I'm the oldest one on here. And I think you're the youngest.
Okay, so it used to be like in my 20s, like I'll go play basketball. I mean, jump, no aches. I mean, get up the next day, go do the same thing. For some reason, my knee hurt for no reason these days when I get up out the bed. It'd be for no reason. I slept correctly, hurt for no reason.
You old then.
I don't know what it is, but something changed. But so
he got that Rick Ross when he tried.
Right. Somebody need to be hurt. But here's the thing, though. I used to. So that's an example of a change. I used to be very, very skinny, very, very skinny. And then I had to get into the gym, and I spent 5, 6, 7 days, 2 hours a day at the gym, and I got my weight up. That's reinvention. I'm saying that to say that there's a lot of men who slip into change, like change that's inevitable. You get married, you're going to change. Now you get a new job, you're going to change. But reinvention means you're looking more deeply within yourself to figure out what you could actually be. And a lot of men are afraid to tap into what they could be, what they could accomplish if they sunk their teeth into something. And I think this is what I want men to get into. Like, sure, you can get a job and you're making $30 an hour. That's fantastic. But why can't you make $80 an hour? Why can't you own a business that's thriving and successful? Why can't you get your weight up? Why, you're bench pressing 135 now. Why can't you do 225? Like, this is what I'm saying. Reinvention is not just going along with the change and then making the best of it. It's being proactive and going after a goal that forces you to become something different so that you get outcomes that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So to answer this, I don't believe that men will reinvent themselves 3 times. I do believe that winners who want to win will reinvent themselves as many times as necessary to obtain their results. And I don't think this has anything to do with cognitive dissonance of who they are, with insecurity. The higher you go, the more it's required, and that's just what it is. You want more, you want better, you've got to become what it is that you want on that level. And you should aim to that place so that when you look back 2 years from now, you look and sound like a completely different person. And that's what reinvention looks like. And that's what I'm pushing for. So no, a man won't automatically reinvent. Winners will, though.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Lou.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that is facts, though. That is big facts. I think everybody saw the Last Dance documentary, right?
Talking about with Jordan?
With Jordan.
Oh,
yeah. If you pay close attention to what he talked about how he started and, when he was on the Bulls and then not being able to get over that hump, he also had to reinvent himself at that point in order to get over the Pistons, in order to get that hump and not just only stay. So that right there was a moment of him kind of explaining, of him tapping into that next essential level. So yeah.
That's not true, bro. That's not true. He did not reinvent himself. Those teams got older.
No. I'm talking about when he had to make a decision about what he's going to do, because they got bounced, out of the playoffs. They didn't make it to the finals, right? And they lost to the Pistons. And sort of, what did he do? He had to go into the gym. He had to put on more muscle. He had to, learn to play different areas around the court. He had to, adopt his game, right, in order to elevate and get to that next point. That
No,
in itself is a form of reinventing yourself.
Humble Dad is right. Their knees hurt. They got older, so that's why Jordan was able to take advantage of that.
That's
Humble
part
Dad
of it.
right. Humble Dad is
That's a large part of it, but I understand your point. That's all I'm saying. That I understand your point. He's seen that he could not accomplish the goal in which he wanted to do, which is win the championship. So he had to go back into the lab, so to speak, work on his strengthening, work on his conditioning, and so he reinvented himself, right? But I'm just saying that the reason why he won is because they got older.
No, I think I agree with Lou. He did everything Lou said, but he also reconditioned his mind. You know what I'm saying? He understood what he was going up against with the Jordan rules. He understood that. He became more of a playmaker. Instead of averaging 37 points, he actually realized he had to get his teammates involved. The other thing.
Wait, Sean. Sean, you didn't just say that in good context. You didn't just say he had to become a team player and get his team involved.
I said he had to become more of a playmaker and get his teammates involved. He went from averaging 37 points to down around 32. If you really pay attention, you'll see that Phil actually told him that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that he was leading the league in assists, but he was always around 6 assists at that point. But when you look at it, he was just going to the whole 100 miles an hour, averaging 30 points, averaging 40 some in the playoffs. He completely became less of that as he got older. He started playing. He started getting his touches and playing from the mid post and from the free throw line down, and 15 feet and things like that. His catch point was different. So yeah, he definitely did recreate himself, but part of it was Phil putting him in a different position and him allowing himself to be coached differently too.
All right, I do want to read the definition of reinvent just so we can set a base right here. It says change something so much that it appears to be entirely new. Take up a very different job or a way of life. So and when somebody says Jordan reinvented himself, he changed something up so much that it appeared to be new. So, I mean, that's just the definition of it. I know we use definition. Everybody have their own meaning. I think it all boils down to you being self-aware and being aware situational, because some people can improve, but some people may need to reinvent themselves where they go in this mindset where it looks like they completely changed up. I mean, if they change it up, they had it in them because they wouldn't be able to do it. So I think some people have to look at it that way and say, hey, I'm reinventing myself. And maybe maybe that word might trigger them to be able to think that they are presenting something new. But whatever it is you got to do, whether you're improving or reinventing, if it ain't working, if you suck at dating, if you suck at success, you're going to have to do something. And whatever word you want to subscribe to for that change, then it's up to you. But something got to change. Something got to change. So go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I like what you just said, because really, if you think about it, discovery and invent goes together, because you have to discover something in order to invent it or reinvent. So I like the way you put that. Sometimes just being self-aware and just understanding some things about yourself makes you have to go and, for the question that we have in front of us, reinvent yourself. The whole thing about 3 times, I don't know about that. I think I'm just gonna be honest. I might have done that a little bit more than that, and I guess I'm trying to get the context of reinventing myself, like total renovation. You know what I'm saying? Like everything in my life, or it's like certain things that I had to get a hold of, whether it be my character, my integrity, my finances, how I do business, starting a business, as Sir Hill said earlier. So for me, it's like, yeah, I think for me, it's been more than 3 times, the way I heard the question, because the things he talked about are all things that I had to do. Now, if he's talking about all those things at once, yeah, that's over time. True, but if you're talking about like one area or two areas or something like that, or relationships like you just mentioned, bruh, it's been multiple times.